Nitin, if you could take a moment and just describe your company and the problems that your products solve.
Yeah. So CASK is a platform for building big data applications. We have been at it for about 5 years now. Essentially, we try to bridge the gap between IT and line of business. It's a platform that is essential and required in the data space to bridge that gap because of the complexity of how big data has evolved, as well as the things that it's migrating to, right? So most of our use cases surround around IoT, things around big data analytics. So you want to build analytics applications, recommendation engines, and also talking about data ingestion and building data lakes, right? So this platform has evolved over the years to be able to support different aspects in those use cases that I just talked about. From a data lake perspective, we provide capabilities and tools that basically allows you to build applications either using programmatic APIs if you are an advanced user, but also allow you to visually build those applications using the visual tools that we provide as part of the platform, right? And from an IoT perspective also is exactly the same.
CASK just announced the latest version, 4.2, of your CDAP product. Can you drill down a little bit into that?
Yeah, so CDAP 4.2 has been in making for quite some time now. As you know, we have spent a lot of time in building the platform and hardening the platform and adding core capabilities into the platform. So slowly we are starting to add more visual tools that simplifies it and brings it to a level where you don't need to be a heavy-headed, like a systems programmer, to deal with Hadoop, right? So this release 4.2 was focused on improving those aspects, the user interface aspects of the platform. So we added a lot of capabilities in terms of for data prep. So it makes it extremely easy for people to visually transform the data without having to write code, right? That was a critical part of it. We are starting to move a lot of things that we have in the platform in the user interface now. But also, other aspect of this was because of the Spark age now, everyone wants to build things in Spark, right? So there are people who actually have existing Spark code that they want to be able to build a workflow using that. And there are people who want to just, cut and paste Spark code into a visual tool and be able to run it as part of a pipeline. So these are some of the capabilities that we added. Now we added support for Spark 2.0 as part of 4.2. As well, we basically, as the things are starting to migrate to cloud, there was a lot of support that was added from a cloud perspective, being able to support Amazon. I think EMR 5.x was a critical aspect of it because that also requires Spark 2.0 and such, right? But the main theme of 4.0 was focused on how we can get the developers, data scientists, business analysts to be able to come and build these applications without having to write code. That was the whole focus of it. Now you can do Spark, you can build entire Spark data processing pipeline without even writing code. So you can just drag and drop and be able to build that. There are a lot of also improvements that we did in 4.2 from just from an enterprise perspective. So we added a lot of support for CDC. So you can do change data capture now by just with Oracle Golden Gate or SQL Server. So you can essentially do that without having to write any code. We can pull all of the data and keep the data up to date. We also added a lot of stuff from an IoT perspective. So we introduced ECA framework, which is Event Condition Action framework that allows you to specify rules and be able to parse any kind of data that's coming in from an IoT at scale and trigger notifications based on it. The other thing that we also added as part of 4.2 was a microservicing framework. So you can now build microservices using as part of CDAP applications. So these are a lot of things that actually made it into 4.2. And as we are starting to add more capabilities, we'll be focusing more around like IoT related use cases, simplifying all of the data preparation stuff, rules management. Those are the kinds of things that we'll be focusing on for 4.3 too.
Where is CASK going, let's say, in the next year or so?
So as you can see what we did in 4.2, right? So our focus would be more around how we can simplify it even further for users to adopt big data. So now if you see there is a difference, I'm not talking about Hadoop anymore, I'm just saying adopting big data, right? That in conjunction with cloud, which is becoming extremely important now from an enterprise customer's perspective, is they have a footprint. Some of the footprint is either in the cloud, or they're looking to have a footprint in the cloud or an on-prem. So we'll be focusing a lot more on cloud integrations, supporting hybrid clouds. Those kinds of things will become very critical, right? As part of the cloud, there's a lot of things that we will be focusing on, enabling more of kind of like a self-service aspect of it, like being able to do that, having serverless deployment of code. So all those will be the kind of focus that will be going forward from a CDAP perspective. For us, that's always been the vision for us. In fact, when we started, it was at some point a cloud company, in the sense we did a lot of things on the cloud, but then enterprise forced us to be back on on-prem. So now we are bringing back our the old vision to put it back onto the cloud. So I would assume that there will be a lot of improvements in the platform from a cloud perspective. So we'll be doing a lot of things on the cloud, but we'll also be doing a lot of things related to simplifying, right? Making it more easier for users to accept and build applications with data in cloud.